Okay, so I've kind of done a full 360 on the Titans this, past year, I guess. Where last year, big fan of the Titans, kept talking about how good the Titans actually are. Then kind of the offseason, I thought, this is going to be tough. Losing A.J. Brown, I'm not sure if the Titans are going to be that good. And especially when they got off to their slow start, I was definitely doing my victory lap saying, see, I was right all along. But I feel like what I've seen with these Titans these past few weeks, I think I'm kind of coming around to them. I think the Titans might be good, which, they're 3-2 leading their division. So that shouldn't be that hot of a take. But I'm liking what I'm seeing, especially with Derrick Henry looking like Derrick Henry again. So that's the play we're going to start off with, the one you see on the screen. It all runs through Derrick Henry. And there's a risk with kind of having an offense that runs through a running back, right? Running backs are notoriously fluky year in and year out, and even game in and game out. So when a Derrick Henry is awesome when he's on, even Derrick Henry has had injuries now, and he tends to get off to a slow start in the season. The bright side, though, is that he's Derrick Henry, and he's awesome. Whereas for example, the Colts, they try it with Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's been banged up, hasn't been the same this year, and they're struggling. It's two similarly built teams. It's just an interesting team building philosophy. But anyways, let's finally get into the play. It's going to be Tannehill's going to run to play action and go towards the bottom of the screen. It's eventually going to be a screen pass, though. You have a couple offensive linemen going out to block the players you see, and the hope is just that everyone else who is unblocked on this play falls for the fake as though it's going to be a pass. Look at how right when this play begins, you see him run that play action. You see where Derrick Henry is, all of that stuff. But what I love about this play, I just think it's a next level stuff, I feel like, where the past couple of years, what the Titans had solely done was run the ball, run a play action, and throw the ball over the middle. That's kind of what they've built their offense around. And we saw, on that first play against Cincinnati, when Tannehill threw the interception in the playoff game, what happened was the Bengals were just ready for it. They knew that play could be coming, and they came in and were able to get an interception. Well, now we're seeing them kind of evolve off of that, where they're running a play action. So now the secondary is ready for the play action, dropping back into coverage. So now they're going to throw the screen pass back to Derrick Henry. I just think this is the really smart and clever wrinkle you can throw at them, which now it makes you think, well, maybe you have to really play the play action tougher, right? Whatever way they're playing you, you have to go the other way, and that's what the Titans are doing in a really kind of smart way, I think. I mean, look at those two Washington players. Those are unblocked players. If one of them reads this play and gets over to Derrick Henry, this is not going for many yards. However, when Tannehill finally hits Henry, you now have offensive linemen who can get up to those Washington players and block them, meaning they end up, they still make the tackle, but they got 22 yards on that play. So that's the advantage of Derrick Henry, obviously. Great stuff by him, but also how you use Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is just as valuable just by being Derrick Henry and drawing that attention as he is with, actually the value that he brings. Something like this is another good example of just scheming stuff up, right? It's man coverage, and I do think, I have to say, this Titans team, I think we all agree, hasn't looked as good without A.J. Brown. You knew it was going to be tough. A.J. Brown's a really good player. This is where they've missed him the most, I would say, is against man coverage, but they still have players who can play, and they can scheme stuff open, and that's what they're doing here, where it's kind of similar to a rub route here. That's essentially what they're going to be doing, and it's smart in my opinion. This makes sense, especially when you have Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce his name because he's been playing very well, and Robert Woods. Again, they have receivers who can play. They don't have that star anymore, but they do have guys who can just fill that role nicely. Treylon Burks was doing it before the injury, of just, playing your role. That's what they can do. Look at how when Tannehill takes the snap, Robert Woods is open because they called the right play call. So you can scheme this stuff up, right? So there still are times in football when you're going to have someone win their one-on-one matchup, and, they don't have the A.J. Brown who can do that like they have had in years past, but they still can do this, which can get you some of that value. Watch, Tannehill hits Woods. Woods picks up the first down. Woods has played well this year, also worth mentioning. I think that every time I see him, I'm like, yeah, he looks like Robert Woods. It was kind of a weird trade. I didn't understand why the Rams gave up on him, but they bet they could really use Robert Woods right about now, really. So, again, these guys aren't A.J. Brown, but they're playing well. I mean, not to mention this play where, again, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine is going to be the guy. It's a fascinating play because you have Westbrook-Ikhine running a deep route over the middle, and you also have a tight end who's going to run an out route underneath the corner's zone. And typically, the way you want this to work is it's the tight end who can potentially get open if, the safety and corner cover the deep receiver instead. However, Washington is going to play this one, I would say, the correct way. Look, they're both, eyeing each other's guy. Like, they know where they're supposed to be. They're in position. So for Tannehill, you could argue this is a tough spot. I mean, if he throws that out route, this could be an interception. That's a dangerous throw here. But he's kind of sitting here saying, well, wait a second. One-on-one matchup deep down the field. Why not just take a chance? Let's see what happens. That's going to be exactly what Tannehill does, and it's going to work out. Kind of weirdly, but it does work out, and they pick up a big gain. So, hey, guys making plays, right? That's the thing, is it's not just schemed up. Yes, the scheme is helping, right? The Titans always, I thought, for the past several years, really, in the Vrabel era, they have always been able to scheme stuff up well. He's hired good coordinators that know how to do that stuff, especially on offense. But they're also just making plays, which, again, maybe these guys aren't household names. It's kind of harder to be a household name in Tennessee. They, for whatever reason, don't get the media attention that they deserve, in my opinion. But they still have guys who can make plays, and at the end of the day, that is what you need. Like this one's another one where, again, it's going to be that, okay, man coverage one-on-one, who's going to win? They don't have A.J. Brown, so they can't win a one-on-one, right? Well, no, they still can. This time it's going to be Robert Woods. Again, look at Robert Woods, runs this just quick underneath route, but he's open. It's not wide open, but Tannehill's a good quarterback. Tannehill has good accuracy and can hit these types of plays consistently. So the nice thing about having a couple of guys who can play is that you have to be able to cover several different guys. You have to have depth in the secondary. And, for Washington, they don't. So that definitely makes things easier. Tannehill makes this good throw, and Woods makes the catch. So, listen, they're playing well. Again, say what you want about Washington. Maybe you just say, and this is Washington. A lot of teams can, they can do that. Any team can do that to Washington. Maybe that's fair. I don't know if it is, but maybe it is. However, they're also doing things to help themselves out with the scheme and things like that, along with winning these one-on-one matchups. Now, listen. Let's go over to this play now. So, okay, I've talked very glowingly about the Titans. This is a cover 2 man. I do want to be clear, though. I do not think this Titans offense is the Chiefs offense. I don't think anyone thinks that, right? There are still some issues. I still don't love this receiving core. I think it's done enough, and I think that against bad teams it can work. And I think that when you can get on-script plays, it can work. I think that's the good thing about this offense. But there are, in my opinion, too many plays like this. We'll watch how when Tannehill takes the snap, he is going to look down the field, and there's just nobody open right now. So, this is something you would like to see improve. This is something you would like to see get better. Tannehill is going to instead try and, bide a little bit more time, but the pressure gets there. He gets sacked. To me, that is a coverage sack. No one was open. Tannehill was ready to throw the ball, but he had no one to throw the ball to, so he held on to it for too long, got sacked instead. So, this is something they have to fix, I think. The Titans' offense is currently 20th in points per drive. You would like to see that improve. I think their defense has actually played well. Like, if you throw out that Buffalo game, which maybe is unfair, but I'm willing to do it because it's Buffalo. They've done that to a few teams now. Their defense is, the most they've given up outside of that game was 22 points. So, if they can just find a way to score 24 a game, they're looking good and looking like the team from last year. It might not be the most sexy way you will see a team win. I know everyone loves the, quarterback throwing the ball down the field 50 times a game and all these crazy highlights, but winning football is winning football, and as long as they can, make their offense look more like those first 4 plays, less like this last one, this is an offense that can do enough with a good defense to win you a lot of football games, similar to last year, especially in a weak division. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the Titans? Do you agree that they're, looking good right now, or do you think that you want to see a little bit bigger of a sample size because this was Washington? I understand both perspectives. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.